and I shouldn't say this, it's almost kind of funny how it happened.
I don't know if I'd call it funny.
Well, yeah, if it was a real event, I would have been more worried. But because of how it played out, I think it's funny.
I think it can be a little bit humorous.
Oh,
but
come on, think about it.
Okay, fine. It's a little bit funny. Okay.
If you're unaware of what we were talking about, over the weekend, Walmart had a false bomb threat, which in times like it is, especially with recent mishaps and
Well, it wasn't necessarily a bomb threat so much as somebody had called up there, and I believe it was at 6:30, and they said that they had stabbed their girlfriend and that they were holding her children hostage.
See, now that's the not funny part.
It was awful either way, but I don't know. I can't believe that somebody just woke up and decided to do that.
Yeah,
but
it's 4:30 in the morning. I think I'll just I have a thing going on.
But authorities were sent over, and that whole situation was cleared up within 2 hours. And obviously, everyone was perfectly fine. It was a false call,
which is fantastic. Again, because no one got hurt, which is always the plus. It was an interesting situation all the way around.
It really was. Luckily, I don't think we've had to deal with any type of false calls like that a lot lately.
Not lately. I remember there was one at the Carmike a few years back.
Did you work there?
I did not. No, I was a student at the time, and I remember hearing about it. And of course, as a student, what's the first thing you do? You laugh because it just was ridiculous.
Though, there's so many scary situations like that. Do you remember when a shooter did actually go into a theater?
I do. They recently, if we're thinking of the same one, is the one that happened up north with the gentleman came. Yeah, they actually came to a verdict on his trial recently. So
really?
That was interesting.
What was the verdict?
I cannot remember, and I do apologize to reviewing on it. I just remember catching word that they had finally, after all this time, come to some sort of agreement on what to do with it.
It can be scary with situations like that. So, the beautiful thing about this whole situation, though, is that even though it was a false call, our authorities responded just as they should have in case it had been a real situation.
Absolutely.
So,
glad that was all cleared up. That's that again, very commendable from our authorities getting in there and dealing with it as they should. Well, now is the time to remind you to go check our Facebook page and figure out who the sponsor of the day is, because we want you to win some fabulous prizes. And speaking of prizes, let's take a look at those. You could win a large 5-topping pizza from Cullman Pizza Hut. You could win a free family barbecue pack from Mad Dog Mike's Famous Barbecue. And a Chick-fil-A Choose Your Treat, which is either a cone or a cookie. Fantastic prizes. Definitely give us a call at 256-734-7399. And again, that's 256-734-7399. Give us that call. We want you to win those prizes. And it doesn't hurt to know who the sponsor of the day is, because why not?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And then, you can try to win those prizes later.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to take a look at our Facebook friend of the day, and that's going to be Jonathan Lambert. And he likes Charlie Daniels Band and the Cullman Farmers Market. And for being our friend, he's going to receive a Mad Dog Mike's Famous Barbecue Sandwich, and of course that is located inside the Berlin Quick Stop. Now it's time for the Cullman County Commission on Aging. During the last 2 months, Sensational Seniors and Senior Spotlight have been sponsored by Cullman County Commission on Aging. Dusty Baker and the wonderful staff at Commission on Aging want you to know about the variety of services they have to offer. Bus trips for retirees and seniors take place throughout the year. The calendar page of the website, located at www.cullmancoa.com, will list the details for each trip. You can then call to reserve your spot. Cullman County seniors can receive free legal services at Cullman County Commission on Aging. NARCOG sends a lawyer to the office usually once or twice each month to provide services to those 60 years and older. Delinda is a great help with the legal services. Nutrition services are also offered through Commission on Aging. Hot meals are served each weekday at the 7 full-time senior centers. There's no charge for a meal, but a $1.25 donation is requested. Vegetable coupon applications can be submitted for those that qualify. These coupons can be exchanged for $30 worth of fresh produce. The staff assist seniors age 55 and older with paperwork and the applications to receive free medicine from pharmaceutical companies. If you need help with this service, ask for Ellen when you call. Driver safety programs, heating and cooling assistance, and Medicare assistance are also offered, along with Social Security assistance, tax return preparations, and telephone assurance. If you have questions about any of these services, call 256-734-1241 or feel free to stop by their office next to Sportsman Lake Park. Remember to tune in Friday morning to learn about a special senior in our community. We will be asking a question about the senior spotlights at the end of the month. Correct answers will be entered into a drawing for a gift basket.
It's a wonderful program. I'm actually really happy that our community has something like that for seniors, because it's such a big deal to have them involved in things and to make them feel like they are indeed still a welcome part of the community, because they are. I mean, they've served their time, you know, basically paving the path for people like us to do what we're doing. And it's really nice to know that we have some sort of thing for them in terms of like a reward for all that hard effort.
Yes, and just like we did on Friday, we profiled one of our seniors. I believe his name was Jack, and so you know, there's just they have so much livelihood, and I know my grandfather is full of energy, more so than I am half the time. So
better shape too than me, at least.
Yeah, that's probably true for both of us. But yeah, we love our seniors, and we're very thankful for all that they have done, and we're happy to have them. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and again, you know, it was just big, warm happiness towards them, because I can only hope to live that long. So the seniors out there, especially those watching the show, you guys are a huge inspiration, and we really appreciate everything that you've done for us.
Well, speaking of seniors and
people who have done a lot for the community and us, we have Colonel Ken Brown of the VFW with us today as our guest, and I'm really excited. This gentleman has done so much more for the community than anyone really knows that it's kind of scary.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about having these guests on our show. We get to find out all of the different things that they've been doing and find out more about the organizations that they are a part of and how they influence the community. So we cannot wait to catch up with Colonel Brown and talk with him about the VFW.
Exactly. Well, if you will stay tuned, we will be right back with him.
I'm Jay Mullins with Premier Bank.
And I'm Jacob Mullins.
For more than 26 years, we've been providing friendly personal banking services to the citizens of Cullman and surrounding counties. We continue to provide new and improved services to our customers, and we even have a new look. So come by and see us at any of our 9 convenient locations. And remember, the same friendly personal service, and we're open on Saturdays.
Black and white is not a life lived. Today, I choose color. To see it, to feel it, to be in it, to be upon it, and to live a life surrounded by it. Today, I put on a fresh coat.
Welcome back. Again, we are with Colonel Ken Brown, and it's wonderful to have you on the show. We're very glad that you decided to grace us today.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Oh, come on. You're a huge community figure. We love it when people who are important to the community come and share some time with us. So again, we do appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. Can you tell us exactly what VFW stands for?
Well, VFW is the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and we have the #1 post in Alabama.
Oh, wow.
As ranked by our state organization for 2014, and that's a nice distinction. So everybody was pretty happy about that, and I think we do a lot of good things here in the community, especially helping our own veterans, but also bringing patriotism to the community and so on.
Yes, and how many members do you know that you have at the moment?
Well, we have about 300 members, but a number of them are not super active. We've probably got 40 or 50 that are down there a lot and really active. But we do a lot of things. We of course are well known for putting the flags out and decorating Highway 31 4 or 5 times a year when we have the major holidays.
Right.
And we like to do that, and we get a lot of good feeling from the community about that. We also do a slow salute at the casket of our deceased veterans and present a Bible on behalf of a grateful nation to families of our deceased veterans. So we do that. A lot of people don't know that. We socialize together, give the veterans who are coming back with PTSD and different maladies a place to go where they've got their band of brothers and they can associate with people that understand what they've been through. We go visit our shut-ins in nursing homes and make them feel like they're still active and a part of things.
Right.
We mentor and counsel the members of the junior ROTC group up at the Cullman Area Career Development Center, and we spend some time with them each year talking to them about what it's like to be in the military.
Right.
And you'll see us out at Walmart several times a year selling Buddy Poppies to raise money for disadvantaged veterans and for wounded warriors, that sort of thing. So I think we sponsor a patriotism contest every year in the schools, and then give out cash awards to the students and invite them and their families to come to a dinner at Christmas time each year at the post. So we're very involved, and
Y'all are very active. That's wonderful.
Very active, yeah. So
and you personally have done some things on behalf of the VFW, correct?
Well, the main thing that I do each year is, and hopefully we'll talk about a little bit more, is the Veterans Day program that
Yes.
happens before Veterans Day every year. And that's grown over the last 4 or 5 years from a couple hundred veterans and their families coming out to probably 5,000 to 7,000 people last year that attended the event. So it's getting to be one of the larger Veterans Day
That's an incredible number of
deals up in
attendees.
North Alabama here, and we're just trying to continue to work on that and make it bigger and better every year.
Often I get some calls at the chamber asking who lines the highway with those flags. So that's a really great thing for the community to know who does that and why it's done. So
it was started back in the 50s and 60s by a guy by the name of Jimmy Coretti, and the Corettis still live down in the Hansville area, and I think down close to Hansville. And he was a World War II veteran, infantry, Army, was wounded, had a couple Purple Hearts, and he was the guy that really got the whole flag program going, and we've just kind of kept it going all these years in his honor. Gets a little harder all the time for us 70 and 80-year-olds to get out there and do it, but we're still limping along and getting the job done as best we can.
We are very grateful for y'all doing that. Another just possible question viewers might have, if they have a damaged flag, do y'all replace those at all? Do y'all have extra flags at all?
Well, we have a receptacle outside the VFW where you can pull up the curve and stuff your flag in there, and we will give it a flag dispensing ceremony and that sort of thing, so you can bring your old flags down there. We do make flags available to the public at a cost, just cost to us. We don't make any profit on it, so if somebody wants to buy a flag, we can certainly sell them one there at the post, or they can go get one for about the same price down at Walmart, really.
Okay. And where's the post located?
The Post is located down at the south end of town, right across the street from the Christian bookstore.
Yes, sir.
And we have the distinction of being the only building in Cullman that has a cannon out in front of it.
I was going to ask you about that.
It's not too hard to spot.
Well, good.
And don't let that scare you off. I mean, we never shoot it at anybody, but you know, it's out there just for grins. But we have a good time down there. We have lunch together every Tuesday at 11 o'clock, and we have a big deal coming up this Saturday night. We've got a round 2, which is a Cullman band that we all really love, and they're going to come down and do a concert for us in the air conditioning, easy parking at the VFW post. Sure. So it's open to the public. We hope folks will come down this Saturday night maybe and see round 2 with us.
What's the charge for that?
$5 a person to get in the door. And all they're doing is helping us pay for the band.
So no one has any excuse to miss this.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You know, it'll be nice. They have great harmony, great instrumentals. If you haven't heard round 2, they're
great.
Terrific.
Yeah. Joel's in there just gleaming. I know it because that's his dad.
And Mose gets them all the time. So now we're going to sneak in on the action and have.
Well, again, if you'll hold that thought, we'll come right back. If you'll join us in just a moment, we've got some pretty interesting events hosted by the VFW that we're going to cover. So join us in just a moment.
Have you been online to see our brand new website? Go to mycullmantv.com. There you can find links to see a live stream, notes from today's shows. You can meet our sponsors and even meet us here at the station. But don't forget about that Meet the Sponsors link. There you can see advertisements from the sponsors that help keep us on the air. You can also click on the links to go to these sponsors' web pages. My Cullman Television. Let's discover Cullman together.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Is not a life lived. Today, I choose color. To see it. To feel it. To be in it. To be upon it. And to live a life surrounded by it. Today, I put on a fresh coat.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Have you been online to see our brand new website? Go to mycullmantv.com. There you can find links to see a live stream, notes from today's shows. You can meet our sponsors and even meet us here at the station. But don't forget about that Meet the Sponsors link. There you can see advertisements from the sponsors that help keep us on the air. You can also click on the links to go to these sponsors' web pages. My Cullman Television. Let's discover Cullman together.
Overwhelmed by home refinancing offers from telephone solicitors and direct mail advertising, and then find you're not qualified for a specific plan? The Mortgage Center, a hometown lender, compares the rates from all home loan lenders and the qualifications of the various government programs to find a plan best suited to you. The Mortgage Center helps Cullman County people purchase and refinance their homes.
This is Pat Newton. Call us today and let us tailor a loan program to your specific needs and requirements.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are here with Colonel Brown, and we are excited for you to talk to us about something that you mentioned earlier. It's going to be a Veterans Day program.
Well, we do it every year. The nation does Veterans Day every year, and that's always on the 11th of November, and we always celebrate it here in Cullman County the weekend before Veterans Day, on the Saturday before, because a lot of our veterans like to go participate in the parades down in Birmingham on the actual Veterans Day holiday itself, or up in Huntsville. So we try to have our celebration on the Saturday before. That always coincides with Christmas in Cullman, so you get two for the price of one. You get downtown and shop, and then come out to the show. But we have a couple of exciting highlights this year for the Veterans Day program, which this year is going to be on Saturday, the 7th of November. So I'd like all your viewers to circle that on their calendar right now. No excuses, you guys. You got to come out and see your veterans on Saturday the 7th. But we're going to have as our guest speaker, can we get a shot of this this guy right here? Brigadier General Bob Stewart, and Bob was the Deputy Commanding General in his last assignment up in Huntsville at Redstone Arsenal, and he had two space missions on the Challenger spacecraft before it blew up. Can we get a shot of him in space here? There we go. Now there's a shot of a guy that's about 300 yards or 3 football fields out from the spacecraft, untethered. He was the first U.S. astronaut to fly, do a spacewalk untethered from the spacecraft. And this was back in 1984. And so General Stewart's going to come down and be our guest speaker at 9:30 in the morning at Sportsman's Lake. And the morning part of the program this year will be out at Sportsman's Lake Park, followed by a free lunch by the for the veterans and their spouses, and then in the afternoon we'll have a great lot of activities out at Cullman Airport. So it's kind of a split venue.
Now, if you've never heard General Stewart talk, I had the pleasure of hearing him speak Friday. Mm-hmm. He is a wonderful orator. This gentleman can tell you a story about his shoes, and you'd want to hear it. He's a wonderful, well-spoken, and very informed individual, and you do not want to miss it. He's got a ton of great stories. He's done a lot of cool things, and it's a perfect family environment to come and learn not only about your veterans, to figure out what it means to be American, and to listen to a gentleman who's done a lot speak. And I think it'd be worth absolutely seeing.
Yep. I'm just impressed with, obviously everything that he's done, but this is just incredible to be untethered. What a shot. Yeah. Really, that's incredible.
Yeah, and he has a lot to say about it. He says, you're up there floating in space 300 yards out from the spacecraft, but you're going at 17,500 miles an hour around the Earth, and it's interesting to hear him speak about that. Great guy, real war hero as well. Flew choppers, Huey helicopters in Vietnam. Was wounded twice, has 2 Purple Hearts from that, and interesting story about how he got from Army aviation to become the first person in the U.S. Army to ever become a NASA astronaut. So a great story, and I hope the park is covered up at 9:30 on Saturday morning, the 7th of November. People need to come out and hear this guy and to see all their veterans. The other thing we're going to have in the afternoon out at Cullman Airport is the Memphis Belle, and this is an aircraft that flew 25 missions, the first one to survive, first crew to survive 25 missions in 1943 over Nazi Europe without getting shot down, and that was quite a sensation. They made a movie of it in 1990, starring Matthew Modine and Harry Connick Jr. Carmike Theater here in Cullman is going to bring that movie to the big screen the week before the aircraft.
That'll be great.
The week before the aircraft comes in. So I hope a lot of our students and a lot of our citizens will come to Carmike and see the movie, and then go out and put their hands on the airplane and get a chance to go through it Saturday afternoon, the 7th of November. And the aircraft will be flying over the park and flying over Cullman on a number of missions during the day. But we have a whole lot of activities going on out there on that day, and I'm really hopeful that people will come out. Charlie Company of the Army National Guard from Cullman had a tour in Iraq and a tour in Afghanistan. They are going to appear this year. They're going to be there for our opening ceremony at 9 o'clock. And this is an opportunity for the citizens of Cullman to come out early on a Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, I know, but to cheer them and thank them for their service. They will be there, and this is an opportunity for the community to come out and say thanks, guys, for doing that. And the younger troops really need that. So
yes,
I hope people will circle it on their calendar, and it's a big thrill to have the Memphis Belle here. We'll have other aircraft here from World War II, and we'll be doing an air show. We'll have a skydiving event. All kinds of stuff going on.
I believe y'all have done the skydiving event in the past, haven't you?
We have, yep. We're very fortunate to have Skydive Alabama right out at Cullman Airport, so they help us out. We don't have to go too far to get the skydivers. But we have a number of pilots that are coming in that are friends of mine. They're going to be doing a little air demonstration in the afternoon. And we'll have a whole lot of things to see out there. We've got a lot of good music. The Wallace Jazz Band's going to be there playing Glenn Miller music in the afternoon out at Cullman Airport. And we have a number of other folks coming that I'll come back and talk to you about it at a later date. But it's going to be a very, very entertaining day, and you don't want to miss any of it.
Yes, sir. So if people have questions for you, how would they contact you?
Well, they can contact me either directly. My cell is 256-507-1121. And if I have 10 tickets left to fly on the Memphis Belle on Saturday morning. So if anybody wants to do that, the tickets are $450. I know that's a lot of money, but we do have aviation enthusiasts and folks in the area that would like to fly, and we'll have
something
people.
as historical as that. That's an opportunity that you don't get very often.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And we will have people coming in to fly all day Sunday after the event from all around the United States that want to fly on this airplane. So we were able to get 36 tickets for people here in Cullman. And I've already sold 26 out of 36 of them. So I've got 10 of them left. If anybody wants them, they can call me again on my cell at 256-507-1121, or they can call the VFW post, and they can answer any questions that folks might have about veterans benefits. We're open down there Monday through Friday from 9 to 1, and we have a young man who's our service officer who holds forth down there every day and helps veterans who come in with their benefits and how to apply for disability and that sort of thing. So we're down there all the time. The phone number at the post is 256-739-6611. So give them a call down there if you have any questions about anything you heard this morning, or give me a call if I can answer any questions for you. And I hope to come back at a later date and, and talk more about the Veterans Day program and the additional things that we have coming that I think people will be interested in.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll definitely be having you back on the show more often than I think we have in the past, but we're looking forward to it. Well,
Great.
Cullman, we are super excited that you joined us. Thank you for sharing all this information with us, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Pleasure to be here.
And if you'll stay tuned, we'll be right back with more.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment,
I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Have you been online to see our brand new website? Go to mycullmantv.com. There you can find links to see a live stream, notes from today's shows. You can meet our sponsors and even meet us here at the station. But don't forget about that Meet the Sponsors link. There you can see advertisements from the sponsors that help keep us on the air. You can also click on the links to go to these sponsors' web pages. My Cullman Television. Let's discover Cullman together.
By home refinancing offers from telephone solicitors and direct mail advertising, and then find you're not qualified for a specific plan? The Mortgage Center, a hometown lender, compares the rates from all home loan lenders and the qualifications of the various government programs to find a plan best suited to you. The Mortgage Center helps Cullman County people purchase and refinance their homes.
This is Pat Newton. Call us today and let us tailor a loan program to your specific needs and requirements.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, now is your favorite time of the day for when you can call in and win those great prizes as we mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. So, in other news, we've had some very interesting events happen over the weekend and leading up to now. And one of which is that John McCain, Senator, was insulted by Donald Trump.
What do you mean insulted? Let's
Well,
talk
okay,
about that.
so he stated in just talking within an interview that someone had mentioned again that John McCain is a POW war hero.
Mm-hmm.
Trump stated, and I quote, he was captured and that is why he was a war hero. He was a war hero because he was captured. His exact quote that got people offended at him was, I like people who aren't captured.
Yeah, you know, Donald Trump has made some very nonsensical statements lately in regards to several different things. If you are unaware, he is currently trying to run for presidency.
And
run for president. How fun and kind of scary.
It's an interesting idea though, because I mean Trump is almost a household name.
Yeah.
And he himself, it's probably not a good thing that he's a household name, because he got there by being rude. He got there by being kind of pungent. So it's kind of interesting to see him now try to turn his social image around in the sense of, I'm not going to run for president because I think I'm the best candidate for it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think he's an interesting person. I just wonder how exactly he's trying to cultivate his image for running for president by just tearing down your opponents like that, you know? I mean, being a prisoner of war it's
kind of a big deal.
It's
I mean,
kind of a big deal.
Senator McCain spent a lot of time in the country he was captured, and I apologize for not knowing exactly which country that was. I think it was Vietnam, possibly.
Yeah.
I should probably know that.
Okay. But the point is that he's definitely, you know, given back to our country in so many
Absolutely.
ways. And I feel like Donald Trump just has The Apprentice or whatever.
Yeah,
that show
exactly.
is, you know?
He has a small
beauty
fortune.
pageants and different things like that.
Which he's had his own little mock-up with. Now, to state at the end of the interview, or at the end of his forum, they did approach him and ask him about it. He did not apologize, but he did clarify that he did state, if a person is captured, they are a hero as far as I'm concerned. I don't like the job John McCain is doing in the Senate because he's not taking care of our veterans. So he sort of changed his stance on why he stated it. But the derogatory statement is still there. I mean, he still made kind of a low blow.
Oh, I agree. And you know, I just think you should have a little bit more More integrity.
There's a word called tact that he should probably look into. Now, again, I have nothing against either people.
No,
but I feel like Trump handled that very poorly.
I agree.
In terms of public speaking, which he should have tons more experience in.
He really should. And if you follow him on Twitter, he sometimes tweets like these, I don't know, just crazy rebuttals to people, and you're just thinking...
The fact that he has a Twitter amuses me.
Yeah, I mean...
We live in a generation of people where the president's tweeting.
Yes, we do, actually. But in other local news, Representative Corey Harbison is attempting to... he's backing a new structure for the Cullman County Commission, which basically would make... We have 2 current full-time county commissioners and then a full-time chairman. And what he wants to do is restructure that to where we have 4 part-time county commissioners elected by district and then 1 full-time chairman. So honestly, what are your thoughts on possibly ratifying that from making it 2 to 4 part-time?
Well, we have met one of the 2 commissioners
we have.
that are part-time now.
As always, we are still keeping Gary Marchman in our prayers.
Absolutely.
As he is recovering. So.
Absolutely.
But
continuing with that, from my standpoint, okay, we've got 2 districts, and then we've got a gentleman that oversees sort of both, and that's the simplest way I can think to put it. And with 4, the only pro I can see to this is that if an incident like what has just happened arises, there will be more coverage. There will be more people willing to take the task.
That is a really good point for if it does go from 2 to 4. One of the concerns that some people have expressed is that by cutting their pay from $48,000 to $20,000, obviously making them part-time, you're still going to have another job with that. I mean, that would be a part-time gig basically, and
yeah,
so
and then you have your responsibilities kind of tied in the sense of you have to find a way to time manage 2 different jobs.
Yes.
I mean, you can't be a full-time commissioner at the same time
yes.
on a part-time, not only salary but part-time hours, and then have to go and find other employment. Again, pro to that might possibly be that the commissioner will be more communally involved in the sense of they're out there getting their hands dirty in a job. But in a position like that, something that demands a lot of time and attention, we can't expect them to be able to do both.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to definitely do that in a part-time capacity. I do think there are pros and cons to both sides, but say if it does happen, then if you're a part-time commissioner, I would assume that you would have a secretary or some type of office there too. So, I mean, I just wonder how those costs would possibly affect the situation as well.
And, again, we are, quote unquote, saving money by splitting the position up. Again, but we're going from, 3 employees to 5 or 6, depending on how the situation plays out, and maybe more depending on how much help each commissioner would need. Are we really saving money? Are we really saving money, or are we just taking a very simple process and making it a lot harder?
I don't know. I think that you brought up a really good point, though, because right now, with Gary Marchman out, all of those duties are having to fall on Carrie and Kenneth. Right. So I do think that, it definitely has its pros and cons. But in other news as well, Leo DiCaprio has actually given a large amount of money to environmental projects, $15 million.
$15 million. That's more than I will ever see in my lifetime, period.
I think that's more than like all of us will ever see. But I love Leo. He's such a great actor, but he's also, I love that he's a passionate person. He gives back in the best ways that he can.
He's had a little iffy past here in the last few years, but definitely in terms of talent, he's one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of giving, he is also very high on the charts. So he's just a very, and not so much for our community, obviously, but like a very communally driven individual. He is very big about giving back, which is fantastic because, in a position like that, you have to. You have to pay it forward because, I mean, how did you get there on the grace of others? So you kind of want to return the favor and keep that revolving.
And it says that the different ones that received, some organizations that received grants include Amazon Watch, Earth Echo International, National Geographic, Pristine Seas, Save the Elephants, the World Wildlife Fund, and many more. I watch those World Wildlife Fund commercials come on just about every night when I get home. And I think it's like $8 a day that you can, or maybe it's $8 a month, I forget, but there's always ways that you can give back. So, I mean, I think that his message is just really strong, that if you have the ability to give back, even if it's not monetarily, you can give back with your time.
Absolutely.
You know, to volunteer for your community in some aspect. We have so many nonprofits in the community, and you know, obviously United Way is one, and the Link of Cullman County. All of those places, they take volunteers. They are always looking for people that can donate their time or their...
You know, and even smaller organizations like your local humane society or just an animal shelter in general, something in the community to keep, you know, yourself active and to give back. He did go on to state that we cannot afford to ignore the destruction of our planet. He said, "I am proud to support these organizations who are working to solve humankind's greatest challenge." So again, congratulations not only to the organizations, but you know, small round of applause for him for giving that kind of donation.
It says a lot about his character, too.
It really does.
You see a lot of celebrities give back some type of money, but I think $15 million is a lot. I mean, that's...
Now, whether or not that's a huge chunk of his sum, we'll never know. But
well, that's probably true. He makes, I don't know how much he makes a film, but I mean, I think he makes, pretty decent.
Amount,
yeah. So maybe he's not missing too much of that.
Well, now is the time of the show where we get to talk about my favorite part, which is the weather. And that is brought to you by Mitch Smith Chevrolet. Make the switch to Mitch. All right, so it looks like the high for it today is going to be around 91 with a low of 71. And the record high was set in 1926 at 102, which is where I melt. And the record low was set in 2000, it looks like, at 56, yeesh. And sunset tonight's going to be at 8:03 p.m. with the sunrise tomorrow at 5:30, again before my eyes will open. Looks like we got some spotty showers coming off towards the Gulf there, but nothing too big for us, so don't expect anything too radical for us today. And again, looking at an average high for today, about 94, with a chance of precipitation about 20%. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 74, and tomorrow we're looking at mostly rainy with a high of 92. So not too terrible. Looking at an average high through 89 to 94 throughout the week. Looking mostly cloudy and rainy throughout this week. Towards the end of the week, not so much. And lows between 70 and 71. So we're staying fairly cool at night, pretty moderately warm during the day. So that's good for us, unless it doesn't rain like yesterday, because that was terrible.
Well, hey, I got my rain. Last week I wanted rain, so I got it this weekend.
There you go. There we go. We can blame her. We can blame her for that spotty, weird sunshine rain we had yesterday.
Yeah, it was weird, but at least I got a little bit of rain.
Well, join us again in just a moment, and we will be right back.
Have you been online to see our brand new website? Go to mycullmantv.com. There you can find links to see a live stream, notes from today's shows. You can meet our sponsors and even meet us here at the station. But don't forget about that Meet the Sponsors link. There you can see advertisements from the sponsors that help keep us on the air. You can also click on the links to go to these sponsors' web pages. My Cullman Television. Let's discover Cullman together.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Is not a life lived. Today, I choose color. To see it. To feel it. To be in it. To be upon it. And to live a life surrounded by it. Today, I put on a fresh coat.
Now it's time for our community billboards. And that is sponsored by Pepsi and Coleman Jefferson Gas. Sensory-friendly movie showings are going to be Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Carmike Cullman. $4 includes popcorn and a drink. And on July 30th, SpongeBob Out of Water will be playing.
Hand embroidery class at the North Alabama Agriplex, July 23rd at 6 p.m. This will be hosted by Sisters Ashley and Emily Price. Will lead the participants through the basics of hand embroidery, so be excited and ready for that.
Vacation Bible School is going to host their night at the movies. That will be held at Daystar Church July 19th through the 22nd at 6:30 p.m. And you can give them a call at 256-737-0800.
In July is Bring a Friend Month. Bring the most friends to your center to win a prize at the end of the month. And this applies to every center, and this is at the Commission on Aging.
Fall Gardens and Cover Crop for the Home Gardener at the North Alabama Agriplex, and that will be on August 4th at 6 p.m. Learn what plants to plant now for your best fall harvest, and they will tell you some more information about what kind of crops and growing. So.
And the cookbook fundraiser brought to you by the Women of Faith Group, Garden City Church of God. These are $12.50 each, and the proceeds benefit the church's food bank. Contact either Miss Rhonda Davis or Miss Patsy Kennedy at the number on the screen.
And please make sure you visit us on our webpage at mycullmantv.com or send us an email at mycullmantv@gmail.com or give us a call at 256-734-7399. And please like us on Facebook at My Cullman Television. And again, we are sponsored by Pepsi and Cullman Jefferson Gas. And wishing you a happy birthday today is going to be for Monday. We have Shirley Arnett. And don't forget, our weekly winner will receive an ice cream cake from Dairy Queen, and we will do those drawings on Friday. And also, if we have an anniversary of the week, they'll receive a $15 gift certificate from the Candle Garden.
Love that place.
I do too, yeah.
And our sponsor of the day is Pizza Hut. Their lunch buffet is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's now only $5.99. Sunday night buffet is between 5 and 8. Go there, eat the pizza. It's wonderful. We know. And again, go like us on Facebook so you can find out who our sponsor of the day is and win those awesome prizes we give away. We want to hear from you. Go on there, say things, tell us what you want to know about, and we'll do our best to get that to you. All right, so tomorrow we've got an interesting show. Who's our guest?
We have Wade Harbison. He's the marketing director for Cullman City Parks and Rec, and we love Wade. He's great. He's going to be talking to us about what all Cullman City Parks and Rec does. You know, they've recently acquired the Strawberry Festival. Mm-hmm. They are over Celebrate Cullman, Cluck and Brew, which may be going through a name change. So he's just going to give us an update on all of their activities and everything that they've got going on. So we're really excited to hear about that from him, and we look forward to having him tomorrow.
And maybe we can find out how similar his job is to the TV show that people tend to like.
Oh yeah, Parks and Rec. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that it's probably the least similar thing ever, but you know, a guy can hope.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, I'm Jacob Murphy.
I'm Natalie Bonner.
And we here at My Cullman Television wish you a happy day, and we'll see you tomorrow.